And welcome back to Who Would Win. I'm a little late. Things came up. The point being, still doing the Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Mr. Phantom, who asked the question, who would win a fight, Dante from Devil May Cry versus Kenpachi Zaraki from Bleach? Both of whom I've had on the channel before, so I can do Kenpachi pretty much in my sleep. I'm a big fan of Bleach. I didn't really play much Devil May Cry, but I know enough about Dante to do Dante. So Dante is the son of is half demon. He's human and demon. His demon lineage gives him enhanced physical capabilities. He's strong enough to lift and punch demons much larger than him, and he's around, I think, 6 foot, through solid walls, concrete, slam around much larger individuals than himself. Very fast in terms of running. Reflexes are that which are to the point that he can create a cone of air or in a rain. Basically, he cut the raindrops while dueling with his brother at one point in a heavy rainstorm, and basically created this cone vacuum. Durability-wise and endurance-wise, he can withstand a lot of blunt force trauma, and if he is injured, he will quickly regenerate to the point where he can regenerate being skewered, sliced. I could probably generate an arm, more than likely, or at the very least it wouldn't bother him. He could reattach it Deadpool style. He's a skilled marksman, skilled swordsman. When I say master swordsman, you can make that argument, I suppose. His twin rapid-fire pistols, Ebony and Ivory, and his blade, whose name escapes me at the moment, can be enhanced with his demonic energy for greater attacking power, slicing power, piercing power. He's also not dumb per se. He's not a master strategist, but he's a pretty perceptive individual. He also has a love for combat. Like Kenpachi, surprisingly, he will suppress himself or hold himself back when he's really enjoying a fight. He has what is known as devil triggers, which allow him to access different capabilities. The biggest thing is his the devil trigger form with him is actually turning into his demon form. That's the biggest thing to take away from him, is that in his demon form, he can go toe-to-toe with demons a couple 100 feet tall and without difficulty. Using his pistols with demonic energy, he can blow demons' heads off and just pretty much evaporate them. I'm going to bring this up right now. That wouldn't work against Kenpachi. Kenpachi's not a demon. He is a different being entirely, and we've seen him go up against gunfire before, spiritually enhanced gunfire, because one character actually created a mass arsenal of machine guns. I have to assume spiritual machine guns, seeing as they were in a spiritual realm, and they barely scuffed him, so I don't think the guns would hurt Kenpachi at all. But he's also got a lot of armaments that go with him. He's got gauntlets, he's got axes, he's got hammers. There's one that's essentially these wings of Lucifer or something like that allow him to essentially shoot like lightsaber blades and that explode afterwards. Interesting. Then, of course, he also is one of the more interesting ones is he can actually slow down time, basically. Well, slow down is not the right term. He can actually stop time temporarily for a short spell. That's how in the Death Battle fight he actually counteracted Bayonetta's time-slowing ability. He is a massively powerful individual, has saved the world multiple times in this game series, and is an all-around badass. Kenpachi, all-around badass. Let's move on now, obviously. Kenpachi is the 11th captain of the 13th Court Guard Squad. He is the captain of the 11th Division, which is the Combat Division. He is probably the most skilled swordsman in the Sarate or Soul Society, arguable. But if not, he's one of the most skilled. Usually going with just one hand with a Kodachi, which is the size. A Kodachi, for those of you who don't know, in Japanese culture, size of a blade is a tanto, which is pretty much a dagger. A wakizashi, which is between a dagger and a standard katana, and the Kodachi is the longer one, is a long sword. Kenpachi's blade is Kodachi, but he wields it with one hand, and he can move it as fast as anyone with a wakizashi or a katana. Kenpachi, though, to be clear, despite the fact most Shinigami look human, they are not human. They're Shinigami. They're spiritual beings composed of spiritual energy, though they bleed and have organs and all that. And he has spiritual energy inside him. Reishi, as it's to be known as, Ryatsu, as it's called. And he can utilize that spiritual energy in multiple fashions, be it energy attacks, or just hardening his body, or just an overall amount of energy that he produces to create large effects. Kenpachi, without even doing that, is immensely durable, and his endurance is to the point where, in one particular fight, he's ripped his arm off before without a second thought, and just, oh well. But in one particular fight, when going up an individual, for those of us who know Bleach, Noritora? I can never remember. There's two N's in front of his name. Noritora, I believe it was. He first took a stomach to his chest, or a stomach to his chest, a hand through his chest, and then he just laughed it off and kept fighting like nothing happened. Then he took a giant slice to the chest, kept fighting like nothing happened, kept getting cut and nicked all by this guy who had 6 arms and sides on him, and then took an arm through the stomach and just laughed it off and kept going. And eventually the only reason he stopped was because he got like cut on his neck, and he was wondering, ooh, I might bleed out, I might die. Okay, so then he did a kendo stance and just sliced down, and more or less would have just annihilated him had the guy not had immense regenerative capabilities. Regenerative is regenerative. I feel like I'm saying that word wrong. Regenerative. I think that was the word. So Kenpachi is a beast. He doesn't, as far as we know, he doesn't actually know the flash step Shunpo technique, which is essentially their super speed technique. But he has amazing reflexes. Strength-wise, he's capable of, when he went toe-to-toe with an individual known as Gerard Valkyrie, who was an individual, literally no joke, but the size I am, comparatively. And this is Kenpachi, and I'm him. He brought his foot down. Kenpachi caught it and then threw him back. Just like, nah. That was basically it. And later on, when he went into Bankai, his like strongest state, basically, he literally did the exact same thing in a stronger version of that guy, and basically threw him on the ground by basically sticking his fingers in the guy's toe and just throwing him to the ground. Kenpachi's nuts, and his spiritual abilities are such that, in terms of his spiritual energy, he's monstrous even by people of the same rank as him. His blades, Zanpakuto as they're known, has 2 forms, Shikai and Bankai. Shikai has the command drink, and its name is Nozarashi, taking the form of a giant cleaver axe, battle axe of some kind. It's like, again, let's say my hand is Kenpachi, that is the battle axe, and he wields it like nothing. He wields it without any issue whatsoever. And its ability pretty much is supreme cutting power. It can cut through just about anything. It cuts through people, it cuts through blades, it cuts through meteorites, not joking, and it cuts through space itself, not joking. And then his Bankai, beyond that, basically his Bankai is one of the weird ones that actually changes his form, like legitimately. He takes on the form of basically a Kishin, an Oni, an ogre from Japanese lore. Red skin, horns, the whole bit. He's got some tattoos on him. His blade takes the form more of like a haggard cleaver. And he pretty much loses his rational capabilities. He's more or less a berserker at that point. But his strength increases to the point where when he fought Gerard Valkyrie, the giant, when he threw a punch, he caught it with his mouth and then ripped the guy's arm off at the shoulder. Kenpachi, and then he proceeded to, and this I think is even the greater testament of his strength, attack him from a distance. And it was shown, I'm almost certain it was shown it was at a distance when he did that cut. It was at a distance, and he cut with such speed, power, and ferocity that he basically created a slice of air that just cleaved the guy in half. So the only downside to Kenpachi's Bankai, and I'm certain with the years that passed in the actual canon of the series, he may have alleviated this downside, is that the first time using it, his body couldn't handle all the power his Bankai allowed. So his body, like an arm broke at one point. So it is a double-edged blade when you first use it, obviously. So who wins in this fight? Dante or Kenpachi? Let's say this fight takes place in the real world. Dante can see Kenpachi, and Kenpachi can obviously see Dante. But Dante may have to deal with demons. I'm certain he'd be able to see Kenpachi. They're dealing with their own thing, fighting hollows and demons, and maybe at one point they fight the other. And they're both like, wait, what was that? And they both run into each other, and they both stare at each other, realizing, oh, this guy's different. This guy's not a demon. Oh, what's this? This guy's not a hollow. And then Kenpachi's just standing and saying, oh, what's you bloody? Hey, my hair's white. White, blonde, whatever. You still look like a chick. Oh, yeah? Well, you look like... What do you... or big words, Spiky. Actually, it's not spiky as it used to be. I'm insulting you, really? You're just talking about my hair. And now Dante's getting a little miffed. He's like, yeah, big talk coming from a guy, from a one-eyed bastard with a broken blade. And it's, oh, really? Would you like to... Maybe I'll show you how not broken it is. And then, Kenpachi would certainly be the one to make the first move. And Dante, being the ever carefully lovable guy he is, like, after you. And then, Kenpachi misses. Dante's like, fires Ebony and Ivory. They basically just ding, 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 ding. It's like, come on, you're going to attack me with little pea shooters, or you're going to attack me with that blade? And it just starts blocking the blades. Rebound, one nicks Dante, who quickly regenerates. Like, okay, round 2. And then he brings in his blade, and then they really go toe-to-toe. Now, in terms of reflexes, I'll admit, I don't know comparatively how Kenpachi would be. It would, fact to fact, like science, how fast Kenpachi actually would be compared to Dante. But if I were to go by what the little I know, Kenpachi can keep up with individuals who can just literally disappear from in a blink of an eye from the standard point of view, even by enhanced humans' point of view. He can keep up with those individuals. Dante can move so fast that in a rainstorm he creates a cone of air before the rain comes back down. I will give the slight edge to Dante in terms of reflexes, but Kenpachi I think could easily keep up. Now, Dante I don't think actually initially will be able to cut Kenpachi, but as soon as he starts to put a little of his demonic energy in there, he'll get some, not like deep cuts, but solid cuts. Kenpachi will be like, nah, there we go, that's the way. And then Kenpachi now starts to press on. And I fully believe Kenpachi is stronger than Dante. Even Devil Trigger Dante, I think he's stronger than Dante. Because we've never seen Dante do something quite on the level as... Now, Dante's handled really powerful dudes before, and really large dudes. I don't think we've ever seen him do anything quite on that level of just lifting Gerard's foot. Again, a guy who was easily a couple of 100 feet high, a couple stories high, easy. A couple 100 feet high. Or several dozens of stories high. And just throw him down. I don't think we've ever seen Dante do anything quite like that. He's handled big dudes before, I know that. But I think Kenpachi, in terms of raw physical might, and I am talking about Dante at his full peak. In human form, he's strong, but Kenpachi is just naturally far superior. So, though Dante is able to block most of Kenpachi's hits, the force in which Kenpachi is hitting him is actually surprising Dante. So Dante pulls out Ebony, enhances some of his bolts of demon energy, and just, fires them at point blank at Kenpachi. And they're not really piercing him, but they are, he's feeling it. Like, is that the bit? And then he just grabs Dante's chest, like, oh, that is like, good, stop cowering behind these toys, now fight! Then he kind of just throws Dante into a wall. Boom, Dante, ugh. Okay, that hurt. And then he gets out of there, puts on those gauntlets, whose names I forget, honestly. And then, goes toe-to-toe with Kenpachi. This time without his blade. Now he's blocking the blade and going toe-to-toe in hand-to-hand combat. Now, Kenpachi's no slouch in hand-to-hand combat. It's not his forte. He prefers a blade, but he's no slouch. Dante's the better hand-to-hand fighter. I'm just going to say that. Dante's the better hand-to-hand fighter. And, he's landing some solid punches on Kenpachi. Kenpachi, again, just like, oh, all right, this is getting irritating. And then he catches one of Dante's punches. Dante blocks again the blade. This time Kenpachi's enhancing himself with his spirit energy. Nearly cracks one of the gauntlets. And then Dante just kicks off Kenpachi. All right, round 2. And then brings out that suitcase with the turret and just fires turret missiles, their turret rounds out, and just boom, boom, boom. And Kenpachi's say, come on, is this all you can really do? And then now Dante's like, okay, pull out the big guns then. Then brings out, again, I can't remember, I think it's like Lucifer, it's called, the wings of the lightsaber blades. Kenpachi's blocking a couple of them. He grabs a few, just throws them, but several do pierce him, and then it's like, see you later, and then boom, blows up. Now Kenpachi is a little injured. Obviously, though, it's Kenpachi, so that doesn't really hinder him. But at this point, I was like, now that's it. That's what I like. And then he just drink Nozarashi, and then the spiritual energy just climbs up. He even takes his eye patch off, and his eye patch goes flying off at one point. And and he's got Nozarashi, and Dante's just looking at him like, okay, so you got a big meat cleaver, whatever. So he just tries Lucifer again, except this time Kenpachi just throws the flat of the blade in front of him and just kind of swipes, blowing it back. He comes in, just slices. Dante's able to dodge, barely, and he does get a solid gash on him, which does heal, but Lucifer just gets destroyed. Brings out some of like the big hammers and things along those lines. But Kenpachi just cuts right there. I was like, come on! Brings out his sword. His sword's he immediately reinforces it with demonic energy, and his sword's nearly being cut through still, and then he just freezes time at that point, and he gets out of the way, just, alright, it's like, got you! And even with time frozen, demonic energy enhancing his sword, with Kenpachi's eye patch off, he just barely is able to pierce cut his back, and Kenpachi's it's like, is that? And then Kenpachi just grabs the sword, which he's done that before. He just barehanded swords all the time. Just grabs it, just throws him down. It's like, come on, kid. I go through all the trouble of releasing my sword, and you're gonna give me this weak crap. What a waste. And then Dante's like, all right, fine. You want to play rough? And then he goes into double trigger form. Just goes into his demon form. He's like, boom, let's play. It's like, and then Kenpachi spots it. That's it. And then they both go toe-to-toe. Now, at this point, Dante's regeneration is more than Kenpachi can... Here's the thing. Dante will have a lot of trouble in the early fight legitimately hurting Kenpachi, but Kenpachi can't really do any lasting damage on Dante with his level of regeneration. He'd have to do some serious, cutting off limbs and stuff, or just, cutting him in two to actually do lasting damage. Scrapes, cuts, and gashes are not going to last very long on Dante. And now he's in his demon trigger form, or I think it's called demon trigger form. His regeneration will be that much higher, so now they're going toe-to-toe. Now, Dante still Dante still realizes he can't take a hit from Nozarashi. He can't afford to do that. Because, even going toe-to-toe, he tries to punch Nozarashi, and he does stop by enhancing his assist, but it still nearly cuts into his hand, so he has to back off. He starts wailing on Kenpachi, really dishing into some really solid blows. Kenpachi's having trouble hitting him because as much easily as he can wield his own blade, he still can't. He's still pretty cumbersome comparatively with it than he is with his sealed sword. So at that point, Dante's about to do the final blow, and then you hear Kenpachi it's like, oh man, I haven't had this much fun in a long time. Bonkai! And then he just grabs Dante's fist. I just see that Kishin Oni ogre face Kenpachi looking at him. And Dante's faced a lot of demons. He wouldn't be scared of Kenpachi. I doubt he would actually be scared. Concern's a different matter, but scared, no. But concern's and he goes, okay, that's not good. And then he tries to let go, and then Kenpachi's like, I was like, okay, oh, Jesus, give me that back. Kenpachi just throws the arm back at him. Thank you. And then they just go toe-to-toe again. He's got his blade out in his devil trigger form, but this time Kenpachi just slices real quick, and the blade just disappears, and his arm goes flying. I just reattached that. And then Kenpachi just is basically face-to-face. And Dante's like, crap. And then Kenpachi just kind of rips his head off, and then just slices his body in half. So there's 3 bits of him there, and Dante's head goes rolling. Now, if his brain were damaged or completely destroyed, I think that could kill Dante. I actually don't think a straight decapitation kills Dante. Dante's probably going to pull a Deadpool and just be a talking head, just, well, this is awkward. It's like, and then you see Kenpachi walking over, it's like, you win, Jace, you win! And then Kenpachi just, and then, the color recedes, the horns disappear, his sword returns to normal. Whew, yeah, that was a good fight. And yeah, good fight. You won. Could you reattach me to my body, please? It's like, you're still alive? Yeah, it's a long story. Body, please? All right. And then, yeah, we can live this dude again sometime. That was a good fight, buddy. A good fight, guy. What's your name? It's Dante. Kenpachi Zaraki. And then he reattaches his head. Why does Kenpachi win this? Now, I'll admit, I don't know everything about Dante. I will admit that. Maybe I could have looked up some more stuff than I already know, but I know a solid amount about Dante. Dante is extremely powerful. More than anything, he's very durable and hard to put down. One of Dante's biggest traits is he's just hard to put down. But Kenpachi is almost as equally hard to put down, but for different reasons. The biggest things Dante has going for him is honestly his demon form, the ability to freeze time, which really would help him stay alive, but it wouldn't do much to actually kill Kenpachi, I imagine. And his durability and regeneration. That regeneration is a big thing here, plus his demon form. And his sword skills are pretty good, too. And he can enhance his techniques, his abilities, his weapons with demonic energy. But Kenpachi's durability, endurance, and almost berserker-like tendencies kind of counteract that, because really, when you break it down, Kenpachi's more or less immune to gunfire. Even enhanced gunfire is not going to hurt him much anyway. So anything that's firearms related is not going to do anything. Unless you have a comparable spiritual energy or, demonic or whatever energy level to Kenpachi, no blade you use on him is going to work. And now I do believe Dante has enough energy to hurt Kenpachi, but not enough, at least in his base form, to kill Kenpachi. So the early fight's just going to be a long, drawn-out slugfest for a while. The real change-ups are going to be when Dante starts pulling out his other techniques, like his other equipment, like, again, I can't remember the name of the gauntlets. Lucifer, I think, is what that wing blade thing, lightsaber thing was. That would definitely tell Kenpachi, oh, he's got more tricks in his bag. I guess it's my turn to amp it up a little bit. Bringing out now Zaraki, which can cut through space and an asteroid, or excuse me, a meteor, does put his pure attacking power on a different level than what Dante usually demonstrates. And again, to reiterate, though we've seen Dante obliterate demons with just a gunshot, that's because he can enhance his abilities with. That's because his bolts are special and can annihilate demons, or B, he's enhancing his bolts with demonic energy. But Zaraki is not a demon. He's a different type of spiritual being entirely. And again, we've seen him just tank gunfire, so that doesn't work. If we're dealing with them at their peaks at this point, Bankai Zaraki versus Dante, though we only got one chapter with Bankai Zaraki, what we see in terms of his pure physical capabilities would pretty easily handle Dante. And then at that point, a matter of just disarming him, literally, and dismembering and decapitating him, which Kenpachi would probably do without too much difficulty. Is there a way Dante can win? Sure, there's definitely a way he can win. He would have to basically get a kill shot in on Kenpachi, and that would not be easy. The guns wouldn't do it. It would have to be from his blade, and it would have to be while he's in this devil trigger form. And it would have to be all of his power put into one shot, more or less straight through the chest, and even that wouldn't put him down immediately. Or taking off his head, similar to Dante. That said, though, I don't see it as a very high margin. I don't see it. Like, at best, I'll give him a 10% win ratio. 1 out of 10 times, I think Dante wins. Otherwise, I'm going 90% of the time Kenpachi wins the fight. But I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who say, you don't know, why'd you do this one? You're just a fanboy. No, I do prefer Bleach over Dante, and I do like Kenpachi's character a lot. He was one of my favorites. Him, Uehara, they were two of the fan favorites, and yeah, he was one of my favorites. But I'm looking at what I know of the characters. Now, if you know more, absolutely put in, share, and tell me I'm wrong. I don't care if you think I'm wrong. Honestly, I don't. I do this because someone asked me to do the video. Someone gave me a request. It was who would win. They were next on the list. That was a request, and I gave my thoughts on that. That's just the way it works. Now, we can have a friendly debate about that, or you can bitch about it. One of the two. Most of the time, people don't bitch. Most of my viewers are actually very lovely people, and I appreciate every one of you. So, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm going to pre-record my what if for tomorrow. That way I can just do all the pre-recordings for the next day afterwards. But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. As always, if you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. Ideas for who would win, Star Wars, Superhero Magic, what if anything to do on the channel. Put that in the comments below as well. I'll get to that at some point. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Now, see you.